Welcome, everyone, to Coffee with Coaches and the Muskie Sports Network. I'm Tom Caudell, and joining me today is Muskingum head baseball coach, Gregg Thompson. Coach, welcome to Coffee with Coaches.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me on. Good to be here.
You know, Coffee with Coaches is presented by Jennings Java, freshest roast around. So if you're looking for that fresh roast experience, JenningsJava.com is the place to go. Daniel Jennings, a student athlete here during his time at Muskingum, will certainly take care of you. Coach, you know, we were talking about an opportunity to let our fans, baseball fans, get to know you a little bit better beyond just Coach Thompson. So we've got these questions that are going to dive into that, and we're going to have some fun here over the next few minutes. You ready to get started?
Sure.
You know, Coach, let's talk about growing up. How was it that you first became involved with baseball?
Well, my first recollection of baseball, we lived overseas growing up until I was 7 or 8, and Coach Norm in Belgium had a T-ball team, and that's how I got involved in baseball. I remember all the way back to Coach Norm in Belgium, and then came back to the States, moved back here, and I just fell in love with it. It was my first love. I enjoyed the other sports, but baseball was always intriguing to me. Not a lot of people understand the game of baseball, and it's just an awesome game. It changes every pitch. So it's been part of my life ever since I've been, 5, 6 years old.
You know, I have classes. I have baseball guys in my classes, and one thing I always tell them is baseball statistics to you mean a lot. Somebody who really goes off the numbers, really reviews those stats, and you hear it right here in the passion already about how baseball is that special game.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It's baseball has evolved into something. I sit down and I know we're going to talk about Gavin, who loves talking baseball, but he fires all those analytical stats in there now, and I like to get to the pure part of the game, just the joy of in football you call a play, you snap the play, everyone goes and does it. I know there's some adjustments in football, but the game changes in baseball pitch to pitch. What's going to happen pitch to pitch, and that's what makes it intriguing to me on a daily basis.
Coach, you have the love for baseball. You decided to go to college at Delaware. What was it that made you choose Delaware as your higher education choice?
Well, it was I'm from just south of Philadelphia. There, it was close. It's a really good school. Gave me an opportunity there. It was a completely different experience there than my guys have here in Muskingum. You're talking about the big school versus the small school, and it was a really good academic place. It was closer to home for me, and as we'll talk as we go through, family and my family are a big part of my life, and that was important to me to maintain that balance as I went off to school.
At what point in time going through college, as you were becoming a young man, did you realize that coaching was the path that you wanted to follow?
Well, when you have a passion for something, it was something that's always been in my blood, and it's not that it comes from my dad. It probably comes from my mom. I mean, as you know, being around Sandy, she has a passion for the game of baseball. She enjoys that, and she grew up in the Aliquip in the Pittsburgh area, and grew up a Pirates fan, with the Buccos, and that's all we heard were about the Pirates growing up, and so I got that instilled in me at a young age, the joy of baseball, and then just having the ability to be around guys. My high school baseball coach was unbelievable, an incredible mentor, an incredible figure in my life, and he molded young men and sent us off in the right direction, and that's when I figured I knew I wanted to do what he did.
You said a couple key points there. Passion. I mean, one thing that's always in the world of sports, whether you're talking about playing on a team or really just trying to find what you want to do in life, have passion for that. And I know that we've had some guest speakers that have really emphasized passion is something to go. And then molding the young men. I mean, as a coach, you have such an influence. Sports teaches life skills every day. We hear it all the time. but that molding of young men is so important. And Coach, you're here, man. You're the elder of the athletic department right now. You have molded countless young men. It's got to be pretty nice feeling when you see them leave the program and be successful in life.
Well, and the one of the things that you're on your list of questions when you say work-related accomplishment that you're really proud of, my answer to that was the amount of quality young men this program has produced. We spend a lot of time making sure they're prepared for life, and it is it's important to me. That's what drives me every day in the office is to come in here to mold young men, to get them ready for life, to understand that life isn't always fair, and we've had the opportunity to recruit some great young men into this program and be able to send them off into the world to be highly successful. So, when you talk about a passion on a daily basis, it's baseball. It's the X's and O's. I enjoy that, but I enjoy being around the guys on a daily basis and giving them an opportunity to grow.
You've got some outstanding young men on your team. I got several of them in my classes. Always enjoy them in there. They're very attentive and always engaged in the class. When it comes to how you approach your work, who's influenced you the most?
Well, my father. The ability to do what he did in his career, and always be there for the family that always left a lasting impression. And he was a career man, a DuPont man, who went on a path on his own to go create a company, to change a company called Life Technologies. And he worked in Gaithersburg, Maryland. I'm not quite sure, probably somewhere around my sophomore year in high school. Gaithersburg, Maryland was a 2-hour trip, and he never missed a sporting event. He would drive back 2 hours, watch a sporting event, and then head back down. Spent the week down in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and then the weekends at home. Just a passion for work, a passion to succeed, and he instilled that in you that if you're going to get anything in life, you better work at it. And so he's probably had the biggest influence on my work ethic and my career.
Coach, how do you prefer to start your day?
Well, it's interesting because I wake up and I make breakfast for the family. It's an awesome time. It came about when Gavin was going into his senior year. We went down the first day he was leaving, and the emotions hit that this was the last time. And I said from there, let's have family time in the morning, because we're all running crazy. I mean, I've got 2 other kids. My wife's running crazy with those 2. And I said, let's do breakfast. So I really got into making breakfast. I make a homemade breakfast every morning. We spend some time. We put our phones away. We spend some time. And then the rat race starts. They all head out the door. The people around here will tell you, I head to Circle K. I grab my coffee down there. And, it's I pride myself on trying to be in here by 8, but when you've been in town as long as I have, you end up seeing someone down there, and you end up having more. I feel like Norm down there. From here, I head down there. I see Coach Aycock. I saw Jamie Emerson this morning. I see Barbara John down there. You just see people, and you get a chance to get your day started well. And down there, I head on into the office, and I like being in here early. One of the things, Jeff Aycock, our former head football coach, Jeff was an office guy, and Coach always preached, putting your time in the office, and I think that's really stuck with me, and my guys know. I mean, I might not be in here doing much, but I'm in here, at time. And my guys know that. My guys know that I'm around. They know where to find me, and it's important to me that I'm here and I'm available to not only my players but the people in the athletic department.
I think it's important. I think 2 things you hit there which strike a good chord. One, small town feel. You go downtown, you've been around, people know you. It's such a good environment, family environment. And Coach Aycock, his office now is right across the hall from mine. I enjoy our interactions that we have every day when he stops in and talks. I mean, words of wisdom. I mean, he's a great source for that. What about, we talk about coming to work, you've talked about it a little bit earlier, but what is it that energizes you once you are in the office?
The guys, man. I do this job for the guys, and one of the things, Tom, that with this pandemic that's been going on, and we've lost we've lost a little sight of what this is all about. I mean, this is about the kids. This is about providing a great learning environment, creating a lab that we can produce young men in. But I have a passion on a daily basis for our guys and what they're doing. What can we do to make them better? But that's why I do it. I mean, when we go on breaks, I mean, we're got an extended 9-week break. What the heck am I going to do? I'm a baseball coach that coaches young men, and that's what I do it for. I mean, I do it for the kids. That energizes me more than anything else. And we have an awesome athletic department. I mean, our athletic director does a great job with it and gives us a great environment to work in.
What about outside of work? What is it that energizes you outside the office?
My family. I mean, I enjoy athletics. I enjoy watching my kids play sports. I enjoy the activities that they're in. But just seeing the things that they do and being able to be a part of them. I'm probably more of a homebody than most people think. I mean, I enjoy being at home with my family.
Coach, I had the opportunity, and both of them were awesome, to coach with Gates. I mean, got to pitch to him and have him hit some dingers when he was young. And then when he decided to try soccer for a little bit, I tell you, man, the guy's a gamer, man. He's out there. He's athletic. Loved his attitude. Always came there ready to work and do whatever it took to be successful. And I love that. What's something that most people don't know about you?
I love to cook. I love to cook. I love to smoke meats. I love to work in the smoker. I enjoy cooking and making meals. That could be a whole weekend for me of producing meals. If I had it in me, and I knew the town would go along with, I'd love to open a restaurant. But it would be. There's not going to be a lot of salads on that menu, but I'm not sure we're going to go with the. I know Coach Booch is going to probably watch us and tell me about the veggie burgers. There aren't going to be too many veggie burgers on the menu, but I really enjoy cooking.
Hey, well, maybe we can get some of that Coach T flair on the menu up at the Most Moorhead Field press box area.
Oh yeah, heck yes.
Some specialty items.
Yeah.
What's something that you saw recently that's made you smile?
The first thing that came to mind when I saw that question, Tom, I was on Twitter the other day, and I don't know who posted, but there was a picture of a dad in a Jeep, and his son had one of those small battery powered. He had a Jeep too, and they had the long tow rope attached to it, and the guy acted like the kid. They hooked it up, and the dad acted like the kid was pulling his Jeep out of a ditch, the real Jeep out of a ditch. And you know what? That made me smile. I sent it to all my family members. Family's important to me, but I saw that and I said, man, that's pretty cool. That's an awesome dad.
That is. I mean, it's always good when you see the things out there. It probably brings back some memories, some things that you used to do for Gavin, for Gates, for Peyton as well.
Oh, yeah.
What's the best advice you were given, and who'd it come from?
I got a lot of advice from my dad growing up, and some of the things I probably can't repeat on an interview. But as I said before, he instilled a lot of things in me, a lot of the work ethic. But one of the things that has stuck with me all the way through is my assistant high school baseball coach, Ruley Carpenter, who the family used to own the Phillies. He said, "Tough days come and go, but tough people last forever." And it stuck with me, and it's so true, especially going through what we're going through now. We're going to get out the back end of this and be better people for it. And I tell my guys all the time, tough days come and go, and tough people last forever.
You know, when you were a kid, you said you fell in love with baseball. When you were that age, did you think that you wanted to be a coach, or did you have something else that was in your head?
No, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. That was my passion. I threw the ball off the wall. Um, I spent time in the driveway doing the things that I needed to do, and that were just fun to be out of the house and doing that. And I always dreamed of being a professional baseball player. And most kids who, I bet you if you polled my guys, even to this day and age, what do they want to be? They want to be a professional baseball player, and to see what it takes to get to that level is unbelievable. But that was my drive. That was what I wanted to be.
Coach, if we were hanging out, you're cooking on the smoker, everyone's having a good time. What are 3 words your friends would use to describe you?
It'd start with loyal. I'm loyal to a fault. I got your back. You have my back. I got your back. Honest, and they'll talk about my work ethic. I enjoy. I'm not afraid of hard work. I enjoy work. But those are probably the 3 things that they would talk about that they're allowed to say that I'm allowed to say on this video. So.
Hey, those are 3 great words. If your friends use those words, man, you've got to be happy. If we're making a movie, the Coach T movie, who's going to star you?
Who would star me? Who I would say I would go with Kevin Costner. I'd love Kevin Costner to play me on that. I just think some of the stuff that he produces is unbelievable. And,
all right, I could see Kevin Costner doing the role. The other one that popped in my head was George Clooney. I was thinking George Clooney too.
Yeah, I could see the George Clooney. Look, now you're giving me all that gray hair that's showing out at the end of the picture. I know Peyton's always said to me, "Hey, why don't we use some of that formula on there?" I was like, "I'll just." You imagine me showing up into work one day with dark hair again? People would know I had it on there.
There you go. Hey, we always talk about when's that next headshot coming for the media guide, right?
I know, Tom. How long is it? I mean, it's. I mean, people probably show up to campus and be like, "Man, that dude aged a lot since last year."
It's okay to still have that high school picture in there, man. It's, you can still roll with it. Still looks good.
I know.
What about a superpower? What kind of superpower would you like to have?
I'd love to be able to fly. If I can get from one place to the next right now. I'm a now guy, man. Give it to me. My wife will tell you I'm not the most patient human being in the world. If I can get from here to there, and right now, I'd love to be able to fly.
Talking about COVID, a lot of the stuff, we've talked about eating and stuff. I mean, a lot of it's more centered around being home and not going out as much. What's your go-to food if you had to have that one option?
Well, we talk about COVID and the pandemic. It looks like for me, every food has been my go-to food here for the last 7 or 8 months. I mean, I've packed her on there, but if I had to, and my wife is going to roll her eyes and when she watches, I'd have to go with the wings. I love my wings. I could eat them every day.
Wings.
Yeah.
Same thing in the COVID thing. We're moving into the digital age. We're doing this interview over some phones here instead of being face to face with each other. What are 3 apps on your phone you have to have?
Well, if you're going to take away my email and not call that an app that I added, because I like to stay in touch with my email at work, I would go to Twitter, even though they've gone off the deep end with some Twitter stuff. But I'd go to Twitter. My ESPN app to keep up with the sports, and I love to use my brain. I'd say Words with Friends. I enjoy using my brain playing the Scrabble games and
Words with Friends kind of guy. Awesome.
Oh yeah,
that's good. What about a TV show? Anything that Coach T watches that's your go-to?
If I'm going to watch it, now I'm going to watch one of those 2020s investigations kind of a deal. But if you made me sit down and say, "Hey, let's watch a TV show," I'm going to go old school on you. I'm going to go to Happy Days. I'm going to go back to probably date myself. I could watch Happy Days every single day of the night and find something humor. It was good, family fun. Some of the other stuff I don't get into. I know Gavin says I've got to get into The Office. I've tried The Office. It
not doing
maybe
it
I just don't. I just don't get some of the jokes. I know I'm probably going to turn off half my audience when I just said that. But I enjoy the crime. I enjoy the mafia stuff. I love that narco show on Netflix. I got into that. So if I can find one of those things to binge watch, I will.
Happy Days is an all-time classic. It's one of those ones that you turn it on. If it's on, you're going to watch it. I know the other day I had a class, and I usually make a lot of Seinfeld references in class.
Oh, yeah.
First time that the kids in the class were like, "What show's that?" And I was like, "Oh, man."
We're starting to. We've been around here a while, Tom.
Starting to show it. Let's come back to Muskingum now. Let's talk about, you talked about how important your family is. Your family has a pretty big presence here on our campus. Your dad, Stark, is on the board of trustees. If I walk into Caldwell Hall, I'm going to see the Sandra Wolf Thompson Theater. Talk about how special that is for you to work at a place that your family ties run so deep.
It means a lot, and my dad's story and his love for Muskingum pushed me in this direction to come out 28 years ago. Just being able to talk to them about work and talk to them about Muskingum. They have a supreme passion for this place, and every single time you talk to them, their memories and their thoughts of Muskingum, there's hardly you ever get a negative word out of them about it. And it's something that people probably look at and say, I get inside information. Dad and I never talk about stuff like that. He has been a huge supporter of our baseball program. Both of them have been, but he's been a huge supporter financially for us. But we don't sit around and talk about the inner world. That's his part of it. My part of it's over here, and we keep it at that. We know the lines that don't need to be crossed. And one of the things that we could count on, which was always nice, we'd always see them a couple times a year. We knew they'd be out for a couple times a year for the board meetings and spend some days with us, and we could always guarantee that, And we haven't had this year with the pandemic and all that, but being able to walk into Caldwell Hall and see the gift that my dad gave my mom, and that I remember that we had the whole family out here, my brothers and wife and all that, when they had the opening of the theater. That place is special. It's beautiful over there. So it's just like Muskingum. It's a family operation. I mean, that's what it is. And they are highly passionate about Muskingum.
Well, I can tell you, I've had a few interactions with your mom and dad over the times at baseball in Florida up here. And the one thing, you can see how passionate they are for the sport of baseball and for you. It's got to give them a great sense of pride to watch you down there, not just coaching teams, but molding young men, as we've talked about before, having such a life impact. The one thing I've noticed is the amount of pride you take in your home venue. Whether it's going to be this afternoon, tonight, this weekend, there's a good chance that if I drive up by the North Turf Field where most Moorhead Field's at, I'm going to see you there doing something at the venue. Where's the pride come from? How much do you love just being there in the dugout?
Well, that's you work all that time to get to the field. You do all the stuff off the field to get to the field, and that's my passion. That's my drive. To get your kids and there's a famous saying: it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. And to get those guys up, to watch them perform, you want to take pride in your event, and we do. We take pride. That thing has come a long way. I think you remember probably sitting there at that table, wind whipping in your face, 5 degrees, trying to call a game, stat a game, and all of a sudden, we work our tail off, and we get some awesome alums that help us build that press box to make that a great facility. But I want our guys to come up and feel a sense of pride, and that's one of the things. I think if you talk to our athletic director, you talk to our physical plant people, I drive them nuts. I want something done, and I'm willing to do the work, but. You got to have pride in what you do, and I think it drives my wife nuts, because she's like, you will look at that piece of trash or that piece of clothing in the house and you won't pick it up. But if that was ever on your baseball field, you are ripping someone for not cleaning up. She goes, "What's the difference?" It's just a passion I have for our venue to make it elite, and it's a great atmosphere, man. On a Saturday, as you know, on a Saturday when the sun's out, on a warm Saturday, we get a great crowd and a great atmosphere.
I've seen the transformation happen over the course of the time here. Definitely remember the days of sitting there on a 6-foot table, bundled up, and still trying to. Somebody's tapping me on the shoulder, asking if they can get a hot dog. Times have changed. It's changed for the good. You got the box seats now. You got seating coming around. You got the beautiful press box, which has allowed us now to start streaming baseball games to a really big audience. But yeah, it's definitely enhanced the game day experience, which is all for the fans and the players as well. What does your game day routine look like? If it's a game day, what are you doing to get ready?
Well, we'll meet first thing in the morning as a staff. We'll get the lineup organized, get all of our paperwork done, get everything that we need done before I head up to the field. And I'm usually one of the first ones up there. The first thing I'm going to do after I unlock all the gates, I'm going to head out on a game day. I put the flag up and turn the scoreboard on. That's my deal. We take pride, and we have a game day flag, and we have a practice flag. I take pride in putting that game day flag up there. It means a lot to me with that. And then it's just getting ourselves organized. If there hasn't been any rain, we can just get working on getting the field set up. We do that, but make sure that when my guys show up, what they have to do is play. They don't have to worry about some of the other stuff. They do have their duties, but I get everything taken care of. Of course, I know I've been around here long enough to know which coaches are going to want a cup of coffee when they show up here. So I'll throw the coffee on. I always throw a couple hot dogs on there that if someone wants to grab a dog before the game, one of the coaches wants to grab a dog before the game. And then, I turn it over to my coaches. They throw batting practice, they hit fungos, and I enjoy, especially as I've gotten older, Tom, I enjoy playing people and not teams. And if you look at my schedule, as I set the schedule, I'm gonna schedule people, coaches, the guys that I want to play against, and catch up and find out how their families are doing and everything else like that. And so I'll spend some time before the game, and then get ourselves ready. The umpires come, and we get them organized, and we're ready to roll.
I'll tell you, the thing you said, people, not teams, is the one thing I noticed when I arrived to the field is you're in that kind of like people moment with the other coach, sharing memories, catching up on the times, talking about the season. You can see that's a genuine moment occurring between two people, and that's something special to see. One thing that we see all the time, you at the field wearing number 13. It's your number. Where did 13 come from?
Well, it started where someone would give my wife 12 roses, but I was going to give her 13. It's been my lucky number. I wore it in high school. I wore it all the way through. It's just been I'm an odd, you say one thing people don't want to know about you. I'm an odd number guy. I hate even numbers for some reason. I don't know why it is, but one of the things that's interesting that you brought that up. We've gotten away as coaches from wearing uniforms. We wear pants and we wear up top. We used to wear our uniforms all the time. You see the other coaches in the uniforms, and I thought, I had to make 13. I had to make 13 eligible, and that's been a 2 or 3 year thought process here. I still haven't made 13 eligible for one of the players to wear, but it's my number. It's my matter of fact. Gavin wore it, and he got it in college. Gates, of course, as you know, that would be. He's not going to wear 13. He's going to wear some other number, any number other than
He's
13.
been an even number guy.
Yeah, he is an even number guy. I think he did wear 2 this summer.
So, Coach, let's take it back to last spring. I mean, last spring was such an emotional roller coaster for a lot of different reasons. But the first one we want to talk about is facing your son Gavin, who plays for Denison. It was going to be Muskingum's home opener here. First time you would be facing him wearing an opposing jersey. Take us back to that day and just the emotional ride you had.
Well, we talk about game day. We met in here. It was a misting day. It was an overcast day. We got our lineup set, and I headed on up to the field. We were working on the field. I was on my gator, just trying to figure out if we could play. I was on and off the phone with Coach Deegan, and somewhere about 11:30, Deeg said, "You know what? Who knows how long this season's going to last? Let's play. Let's do it." And we came over. Of course, the rain never stopped. I mean, it was hard to get the field ready, but I was on the gator, and I won't forget this. I was over there by third base, and I had saw that they had arrived, and I was good. I mean, I was really good emotionally until he walked through that gate, and that was tough. Yeah, I still get emotional about it.
I can tell because, I mean, I remember we talk about the 6-foot table behind home plate in the older days. Gavin was a little kid sitting there next to me at times, entering stats in on the computer. The number of times prior to his college career, he was always at the field. He's always over in the Muskie dugout. He's there on game days. He's helping. He knows our kids and our team like they're his family. So I could see how that would be such an emotional time to see him come in. The game goes on, and it's got to be more emotional because there's times that Gavin's coming up to bat, that he's in positions to score runs for Denison. So it's that maybe a conflict going on. But ultimately, you saw him get his first hit, his first career RBI. So the emotion ride continued throughout the entire game.
Well, I knew he had put himself in a position to get some playing time. That opening weekend they had gone down. He had a returning All-American that he had to compete against, and he was the first guy off the bench. He had got some at bats that first weekend, but I had no idea he was going to start. We went to home plate and we exchanged the lineups, and Deeks handed me the lineup, and his name was on it, so that was good. And so this is the interesting thing, Tom. The first at bat, Coach Winters, who's been with me and been my right hand guy for 12 years. Dom's next to me, and Gav's up there. I think they've got a couple runners on base and 2 outs, maybe runners a second or 2 outs, and he swung at a slider that we threw him, and the first swing he hits it off the fence, foul. All right, and I was like, okay, this is really weird. I mean, I remember saying to myself, man, this is odd. And he swung it, I believe, a 2-1 pitch. It might have been a 1-2 pitch. I don't remember, but popped it up in the infield, and I said, darn. And Dom says to me, when we got out of the inning, Dom says to me, "Did you hear yourself, T?" He whispered it. He's like, "Hey, did you hear yourself, T?" I was like, "Yes, I heard myself." In the dugout. That was hard, Tom. That was to go and want to get your own son out, and people, as you asked me, they ended up, I mean, they put it to us that day, and I tweeted it out. Not the outcome we wanted. I mean, I wanted to see him perform, and I wanted to beat him. I mean, I'm with the Muskies. That's what I'm always going to be with, and it was interesting dynamics in our household. Who was cheering for who that day? We found where loyalties lied in our household on that day. So I know I was the one with the Muskies, and the other ones were the ones with Gavin. So,
well, I know up in the press box, Heather was in the press box, and when Gavin's up there, it was a nervous time for Heather, wanting him to do well. And being like, oh, was I supposed to say that? Was I not supposed to say that? So yeah, it was a crazy time, emotional time. But what about the end of the game? I mean, normally it's a handshake, good luck the rest of the year. For you and Gavin, it was an embrace.
Yeah, not too many people get the opportunity to compete against their son at the level that we're competing at, and it was a culmination of a dream. The ability to play college baseball. Anyone tells you, hey, I'm just going to go play college baseball, that doesn't happen. That takes an incredible amount of work. Not just baseball, any college sport. We're talking about, you can say anything you want about Division III. We read a great article. There's a lot of Division I baseball coaches that don't want to play a Division III school because we've got really good players, and the ability to compete against your son on a college field. I'm not sure how many people have ever had that opportunity. You and I tried to look it up and find, there's been guys that have played with, sons that have played with their dads. I'm not sure there's many played against their dad. And, it was, he's turned into a man. And I'm going to look forward to competing against him. The pitch he hit the double on and got the RBI. It was a good pitch. We tried to get in on him. It was a fastball. And he hit it. I'll never forget that moment. But what will carry and last is that embrace at home plate.
Well, it was a special moment. So you have the emotional ride of playing Gavin, facing him for the first time, and then COVID really hits. A time where you've got to kind of tell your team the season is going to be over. But Denison plays a big part in the end of this again, because Denison brings Muskingum to their field to A, celebrate your seniors, and B, have that final game to provide a little bit of closure.
Leading up to that, to the end of it, I was sitting in one of the box seats there, the last one there, usually where that table would sit up there at the field, Tom. And I was sitting there, I was watching our guys gather. I had gotten the news. We had come down and had the meeting down here, and I had gone up to the field. I had guys rolling in. The high conference tweeted it out before we had a chance to tell our guys. And Matt Stewart walked by home plate, said, "Is it over, Coach?" And I said, "Hey, we're going to meet here in a second." So the guys all got there, and I went and I told them what the news was, and one of the hardest things I've had to do. There was some anger. Those guys were angry, and I told them, we can't. It is what it is. We're told, but to watch guys, my four seniors that had put in the amount of time they had put in to get to that moment, to then have it taken away, and watch grown men cry. Because when you leave our program, you're a man. Watch grown men cry. That was extremely hard. And got on the phone, and I give our two administrations credit. Coach Deegs and I thought they were scheduled to leave Friday for Florida. Late Thursday night, hadn't heard anything. Into Friday morning, hadn't heard anything. Then Denison makes the decision. And the two administrations agreed to allow us to come over. And it was kind of a spur of the moment. It turned out to be it was closure. A lot of teams just walked off the field, had nothing. They didn't know it was over, had no chance to say goodbye. We had a chance to say goodbye. We were planning on playing 2 games, but as only 2020 could happen. About the 6th inning or 7th inning of game 1, a snowstorm arrived, and we got a picture. There was a picture, I think it was in the Newark Advocate, of Josh Bigrig throwing or holding one of them. You can't even see him. There's a snowstorm coming. I'm meeting with Coach Deegs at the backstop. The umpire's looking at us, and we're just trying to. He wants to get his seniors in. I want to get my seniors in. And then the Denison parents put together a spread of food. We all gathered in the gym afterwards. It was the best possible ending that we could have to just a bad situation.
It was, and two great schools coming together to make something happen for the student athletes, which is the most important thing. And hopefully now we're looking forward to this spring, getting the guys back out on the diamond, getting a season back and playing some baseball. Last fall, Muskingum announced the $30 million health and wellness complex. It's going to be state-of-the-art centerpiece right here in campus. It's really going to be a game changer, combining athletics, academics, the community. When you look at this project, how will it impact the baseball program?
Well, first off, let's take the first step, and let's just talk about our president, who probably, I would imagine, a year or so ago at this point, as we move into December and the pandemic, how many people probably doubted what she was doing. But to be able to make the commitment to athletics that she made by putting the HWC and keep it on track.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about a selling point for recruits. We have a president, and you're going to win at this level. If your president wants to win, you're going to win. To have a president that's willing to take on this task in the middle of this pandemic is awesome. And the facility itself, I mean, how many places have a place that has turf that it's not basketball courts. It's built for baseball and softball and football and lacrosse, the soccer, the teams that can go in and practice on a surface that they're going to similar to what they're going to play on. It's a game changer, and it's a game changer for that side of campus. I mean, you and I have been here long enough to know what that side people coming in will never know. But it's changed. It's changed the dynamics of our institution. It's changed the dynamic. I mean, you look at our visit numbers, our accept numbers. They're through the roof, and it's got to be. I mean, it's got to be a factor in it. People saying,
Sure.
"Man, it's athletics are important to Muskingum." So you talk about state of the art. You talk about performance development within a facility like that. What's going to bring our student athletes in order for us to develop kids at a higher level, and all the equipment going to be available. It's crazy. Plus our nursing program, everything that goes along with it.
It's incredible. And, you talk about, giving out the recognition to the board, to President Hassler, for moving forward at a time when so many colleges that we know have paused, have delayed. But you come to our campus, and if somebody drove to our campus right now, you're seeing something happening, which is pretty amazing. For those of you who want to see it, just go to muskingum.edu/HWC. You got the live cam there. You can see it every day. When you come in the office every day, you see new stuff. I mean, the foundation is going in right now. You're seeing concrete being poured. A dramatic difference from when we left last spring to what it looks like today. So still on schedule for a fall 22 opening of the Health and Wellness Complex. Coach, you've had a storied career here at Muskingum. When you think back about your time as a coach, what kind of moments, or what are the moments that stand out the most to you?
Just the people. Being able to surround yourself with great people. As I said before, it's not the X's and O's and the Jimmys and the Joes. We've had some great Jimmys and Joes, guys that have remained lifelong friends. The ability to include my family in my job, to be able to put your sons on a bus and go to Florida, the ability to create a family atmosphere in our program, as around our concession stand. I mean, we have selfless parents that want to give to our program, because I think we create an atmosphere. Wins and losses. I get all that, but it's the relationships. It's the community. I never thought I'd make it 28 hours in New Concord, Ohio, let alone 28 years. And that's a testament to the people that you surround yourself by. But you know what? I'll sit back and I'll look, and I will tell you this. The ability to include my family in my job has been important.
Well, it's an awesome answer, and you're right. The people are so important. Seeing your family at the games, having them be a part of your life, and having them support what you're doing is always extremely special. Coach, I want to thank you for taking time today to talk some coffee with coaches with us. It's presented by Jennings Java, jenningsjava.com for your fresh roast experience. And I look forward to us connecting again as we get closer to baseball season and sitting down and doing a nice season preview.
Awesome, Tom. Appreciate all you do for us. Thanks.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach T, and go Muskies.